Hello viewers, today I am going to explain you about the past continuous tense. Here the definition is it means that at a time in the past we were in the middle of an action. It means that we were performing any action but that is not done which was continue but in the past, or it is used to describe actions that began in the past and often continued for a short period of time after the action started. The second one is which define the past continuous tense, that it began in the past, same thing, but continued for a short period of time after the action started. This tense describes actions or events that happen at a specific time in the past. These actions are usually no longer happening at the time the sentence is being said or written. So past continuous tense is what past continuous tense means, that action started in the past which was continue but not for a long period, and when we are talking about that or writing about it, so what happened, it was not happening at that time or no longer happening at that time. And third thing is the action when it was happened, the specific time period might be given in the past continuous tense. Now we move to the next one, how to form it. How to form past continuous tense. Past continuous tense is formed from the past form of be. Past form of be is was, and second thing is were. Where we use was and were, I will show you. With the base form of main verb plus the ending with ing of the verb. It means ing form of verb, which is also called present participle form, which is written here in the structure. Now the verb ing shows that it's a continuous tense and it's a understood thing for all tenses of continuous. It is formed like this: subject plus was or were plus continuous form of verb plus first form of verb plus ing. Continuous form of verb means first form of verb plus ing, which is also called present participle form of verb plus object. This is the structure. Using was were. Using was were, here we have I, he, she, it. Third person singular. We use was, and for were we have to use the pronoun they, you, and we, or we you can say. One example of this tense is he was watching television when she called him last night. In this sentence, the past continuous tense is what, which shows was watching. Here I mention here in the green alphabets that was watching. It's a continuous tense of past. Another example of this tense is we were playing football when he arrived. The past continuous tense is were playing, which is written here in the green alphabets. Example of past continuous tense are here. The following are basic examples of the past continuous tense. The verb tense in each sentence is underlined, which means the green underline alphabets and words shows you the past continuous tense. When we got to the house yesterday morning, the baby was drinking water. Here was drinking is past continuous tense. He was waiting at home all day when she sent him the message. Here was waiting is past continuous tense. Similar in the other examples like was cutting, was not sleeping, it's a negative tense. And was cutting is a affirmative sentence. You can also use this tense to make a question. Example of this use include it means when we are going to make questions, so how we make like this. These are the examples. What were you doing when the alarm rang last night? Were doing is past continuous tense. It shows it. I highlight in each sentence here. Were you calling me when I emailed you this afternoon? What was she doing this time yesterday? And question mark, as you know, it's understood that you have to mention at the end of each questions. Past continuous tense is often combined with past simple tense, as you see in the previous sentences that he was not sleeping when you got home last night. Here you got, it's a past simple tense. It's a second form of get. So the example here is also here. While we were sitting at the stadium, the rain began. While we were sitting at the stadium, the rain began. Here began is a past simple tense and were sitting is a past continuous tense, which both are combined in each sentence. Past continuous tense and past simple tense. Past continuous tense can also be used when describing the background of a story written in the past tense. Example of these include. In this way, you can describe the background of any story like this. The sun was shining brightly when I woke up. For example, the sun was shining brightly, it's a background. When I woke up, it means when I woke up yesterday, for example. So the background is the sun was very shiny. Last month, as I was sitting outside, this is also the background. Another example is the other day he was waiting at the airport. Last week, as he was sitting in the traffic. When the alarm went off yesterday, they were running towards the road. So these all are the examples which show the background of the story in the past continuous tense. Past continuous tense can also be used when describing an unfinished action that was interrupted by another action. For example, I was having a great conversation with him when his friend interrupted it. It means the action which was continued in the past but not completed. What happened? Suddenly someone interrupted. Who interrupted? His friend. So the conversation was not completed in the past. While we were playing tennis, it started to rain. In this sentence, we were playing tennis. The tennis game was not done or not completed. It was continued but stopped by rain. How that rain started? So they were not playing the tennis game. So this was happened in the past. The action were continued but not completed and stopped by the another action. I was listening to my music, so I didn't hear the phone ring. Here I was listening to music, so I didn't hear the phone ring. This is also the other example. While he was sleeping, someone took his phone. She was making dinner when he arrived at her house this evening. Past continuous tense can also be used to express a change of mind or thought that happened in the past. Examples of these include are: he was going to pack a ham sandwich for lunch, but he decided to make a peanut butter and jelly instead. It means he changed his mind. He was going to pack a ham sandwich, but what happened? He changed his mind that he decided the another thing to make for the for example for the dinner or for the lunch or etc. Dan was making to accept the job offer in the New York but changed his mind later. He was going to do the action of accepting a job offer in the New York, but what happened? Suddenly he changed his mind. The third one is the same. I was going to spend the afternoon at the mall but decided to stay home instead. That I was going to spend my afternoon at the mall, but what happened? Suddenly I changed my mind and I stay home instead of going outside at the mall. Past continuous tense can also be used to show that two actions were going on at the same time in the past. Neither of these actions are happening in the present. Examples are: Mark was making pizza while Anthony was watching him. It means two actions which were continuing in the past at the same time. Second one, she was playing the piano while Anne was singing on stage. It means two actions which were continuing in the past, which were that she was playing piano and Anne was singing on the stage, and these actions which were continue in the past in the same time. We were sitting outside while the planes were flying overhead. This is the same thing also. More uses to consider. Past continuous tense can also be used with the word wonder. Wonder means surprise, and many ways we use the wonder. I was wondering, it is used as a request. The request is not happened now, but it was made in the past. Example here: I was wondering if you could walk the dog for me this evening. It means I am requesting you that you will take my dog for what? For in the evening for me. We were wondering if she was able to meet us at afternoon. I was wondering if you could open the door. So these are all requests which were making in the past and not happening now. Next one, past continuous tense can also be used with the word always, constantly, forever, which are about things that happened repeatedly or routinely but occurred in the past. The action is not for long time. It was for happening now in the past or for the temporary basis or temporary habit. Examples of this use include: our neighbor was always telling us funny story about his daughter. Grandma was constantly singing songs when she made us breakfast. And similar is about her husband was always talking about friends from friends from school. She was always taking all my ideas. She was forever worrying if he would make the team. Importance of this tense. This is very important tense, and it will tell you about that we were in the middle of an action but in the past, and it is for the temporary basis, not for the long term, and it is for the some specific time period which happened in the past, which are generally no longer are happening now. It means in the past. And also that past continuous tense is used with the past simple tense, and which shows what the two activities in the past, and sometimes past continuous is interrupted by past simple tense. This is my lecture of today is done.